Okay, so what we're going to do is start with the perfume bottle, link in the description, and we're going to UV unwrap it. So let me just break it down. So the perfume bottle is actually a group here, and if I go into the group, you'll see that it is, if I hide these items, it is first of all the liquid. Let me just go full screen here so that we can see that. So that's the liquid inside the bottle. Then it's the inside of the bottle with the polygons facing inwards, and then it's the outside of the bottle with the polygons facing outwards. And that's a typical kind of construction when you want to create a transparent sort of glass type bottle. Now I'm going to actually ungroup this, so group, ungroup, just so that I'm working on individual objects. You can see also a surface here, that's the basically the floor, and then there's an Arnold light in here just for when we start looking at doing materials. So the liquid and the inside of the bottle will have just one straightforward material applied to them, but the outside of the bottle we need to UV unwrap it so that we can do things like apply a label and various other texture maps to it. So I'm going to select that item, and in the modify tab I'm going to add the unwrap UVW modifier, and then I'm going to go into the sub-object mode to polygon. I'm just going to click on one polygon and press Ctrl A to select all, and then let's just unwrap it and see what we get. So I'm going to start with a planar map, and we'll try X, and let's go to open UV editor. Okay, so that's just kind of a flat projection on the x-axis. That's not really what we want, but it's a kind of starting point. So from here I'm going to go to mapping, and I'm going to try a couple of things here. So I'm going to say normal mapping, and I do not want it to rotate clusters, and let's see what we get. Okay, that's definitely not what I want, so I'm going to undo that. Let's go to flatten mapping, and also I don't want to rotate clusters. Okay, that's a lot better, but it's still not really what I want. Let's try unfold. Okay, nope, also not what I want. Let me go back to normal mapping and just change a few things here. Let's try box mapping for normal mapping. Also rotate clusters off. Okay, that's a lot better. Okay, so now I need to just have a look at what parts of this am I going to want to texture. So this is the top of the perfume cap. I want to put a logo on there, so I just want to isolate that. Now remember that sometimes this edit UVW screen gets stuck, so you just got to click on another button and back again to polygon, and now you can select. So this is the top of the bottle. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to go here to break, and then just move that out. So that's the top of the bottle. Then I want to put kind of like a label running down the front centerpiece. So I'm going to take that, break, and I'll put that here, and I'll take the other side of the bottle, same part. If I don't press break, look what happens. It stays connected to the other polys. So I just want to, and I'm going to put that on top here because it's going to be the same text. Okay, so that's the one part that I want to texture. So logo here, text here, and that will be the color map. So next, this is actually the bottom of the bottle, so no one really cares much about that. Just going to reduce the size of all of this and just move it over, and then this is going to be a focus. Okay, so there. Now what else do I want to do? I want some parts of the glass, because this is going to be glass, to be more kind of sandblasted matte glass, and some parts to be just normal glass. I can do that with a texture map, and everything that I need is here already, so that's fine. The other thing I want is I want to add a bump map containing water droplets. So I can do that the same. I can do that just on the sides, on the front here, and the sides will be fine. So everything is actually fine for that. So I actually think I'm good to go now, just with what I've got here. So I'm going to take my render UVW template screen, and I'll leave it at 1024 by 1024, and I'm going to say render UV template, and I'm going to save it, and I'll just call this perfume bottle UV map and JPG, and save it. Okay, so now I can switch back to any painting program or image program like Photoshop, and I can start painting my textures. So I'm in Photoshop here, I have my UV map open, and I can start working on some textures here. So I'm going to unlock that background layer, I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm going to call it color. And I'm going to put it underneath the layer containing the map, so I'll just call this layer map, and I'm going to set that map blending mode to screen, so that whatever I do underneath that I can still see the wireframe on top. Okay, I'm going to fill this color here with white, so let's just go edit fill, and we'll choose white. Okay, and then I need to, let's just see, I need to put my logo on this top piece here. Okay, so because it's white I can't see this map, so let me just temporarily change that back to let's try, okay, well it'll have to be normal, and I'll put the color on top and change that to multiply. Okay, so I only see the dark parts. Okay, it's a little bit confusing. I'll take the opacity of that down as well. Okay, that's better. Alright, so on the color layer, I'm going to, okay, you can, do whatever you want here. I'm just going to use a shape and black, and let's just zoom in here, and I'm just going to draw that little logo in there and position it. Okay, then I'm going to do the same here. Okay, but I'm also going to add some text here as well. So text, and I'm just going to type, just making up a name for my perfume, and let's see if we can find a fancy font. Okay, just for want of a fancier font, let's just use brush script and italic, and let's make it black just for the time being, and also let's just stretch it out. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Okay, I'll actually bring it together then. Okay, alright, and let's just rotate that, and we'll put that there. Alright, so now that I've got those, so I'm just going to wonder if I want it to be black or, okay, let's choose a color just so that it's a little bit more interesting. So let's go for something kind of like purplish. I'll copy this code and I'll do the same here. Okay, so now if I take my color map and change it to normal, and I select all of this and merge it. Where is it? There. Merge layers. Okay, so that is our color map, and this one I can set back up to 100% opacity and screen. And okay, this is our color map. Okay, let's set this to normal. Alright, so then the next thing I want to do, so that's just the color map. Then I want to control the transparency, because not everything is going to be transparent. So this color map will be a good place to start. So the only thing that's not going to be transparent is the labels. So I'm going to duplicate this layer, so Control or Command J, and I'll call this transparency, and I'm going to desaturate this and adjust the levels so that it's black like that, and then I'm going to invert it. Oh no, I'm not going to invert it. I'm going to leave it as it is. So what's white will be transparent, what's black will be opaque. That's exactly what I want. Alright, then the next thing I need, so that's my color map, my transparency map. The next thing I want is a specularity or glossiness, a map that I can use to make some of the bottle fully shiny and some matte. So what I'm going to do is make a new layer, and I'll call this spec for specularity, and then I'm just going to select with my polygonal lasso tool the areas that I want to not be shiny. So zoom in a bit, and it's going to be this area. Then I'll hold down Shift and add this area. And then Shift this area. Just keep adding. Okay, I'm going to fill that with white. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same here. I could have been more efficient when I made my UVs, and I could have put these on top of each other, but it's fine. Rectangular marquee, and I'm going to select the top. Okay, so all of that's going to be matte, so fill with white. Okay, and I'll add a black color underneath. So black. Okay, and then I'll select those two and merge them. Control or Command E. Let's just put that above. Okay, so that's my spec map. So that where it's white, it will be glossy. So I actually need to invert this. So let's go image adjustments, invert. Okay, so where it's white it will be fully 100% glossy and shiny and reflective, and where it's black it will be matte. Okay, then transparency. Where it's white it will be transparent, where it's black it will be opaque. And then our color map. And then finally I want to put in some droplets as a bump map. So for that I'm going to place an image. So I just downloaded a droplet image. So I'm going to place that, place embedded, and water droplets. And let's put that up here. Okay, and I'm just going to be fairly crude about this. So I'm just going to put the water droplets across like that, and like that. Let's just do the same here. And also over here. Okay, and I'm just going to select all of those water droplets and Control or Command E. Let's bring the opacity down, and let's just clean up where we don't want it to go. So I'm going to remove it from here. So it's on the side, on the front, side. I think that's all okay. Alright, so now I need to create a white layer. And I need to change the blending mode of the water droplets to multiply. And I also just want to make it more defined. So under levels, let's go okay, let's see. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see. So those two I'll select and merge. Those are water droplets, and the original map at the top. Okay, so we've got water droplets, specularity, transparency, color. So now let's export these one at a time. So for color, right click, export as, and I'm going to choose JPG, best quality, 1024 by 1024, everything's good there. Export, and I'm just going to put it here and put perfume bottle color. Okay, then the transparency one. Okay, so now we've got our 4 maps ready to be added to a material for the perfume bottle. Okay, so we're back in Max and we now are ready to start doing some materials. So I'm just going to move this to the side and out a little bit so we can see what's going on. And I'm also going to go to render setup, make sure active shade mode is on and Arnold is on, and let's leave this at 1280 by 720 and just do a render. Okay, that's fine, and I'm just going to put it to the side here. Active shade allows us to see what's happening as we change it. So I'm going to start with the liquid. So I'm going to hide the bottle, hide the inside of the bottle, select the liquid. We can zoom in a little bit here so we can see what's going on. And I'm going to press M to bring up the material editor. There it is. And I'm going to add a physical material, so double click. And I'm then going to right click on the top here and say assign material to selection. Okay, I'm going to choose a glass solid geometry. Okay, it seems to be lagging a bit. Okay, there we go, so glass solid. And I'm also going to change the color to something more sort of perfumey. And I'm going to bring the transparency down a smidge. Okay, so we start to see that that's a liquid, or like a transparent substance. Okay, that's looking better. Alright, so that's the liquid, no major material stuff there. And I'm just going to call it liquid and just minimize that. Alright, then I'm going to add a new physical material and I'm going to call it bottle inside. I'm also going to show the inside of the bottle and select it, and I'm going to assign it. Okay, I'm also going to use the same glass solid geometry. Okay, so it's now got that kind of transparent look to it, and that's all I'm going to do with that. So that's bottle inside, minimize. Right, then I'm going to show the bottle itself, select it, and let's just move this over, and so that we can see. Alright, and then another physical material, double click and call it bottle, assign it, and choose your glass solid geometry. Okay, so now we can start applying our maps, and let's see how that works. So the first thing is our base color. So here's, let's just move this over, here's our base color and here's the map box. I'm going to click on that, I'm going to choose bitmap, and I'm going to go in to my place where I saved, and it's going to be perfume bottle color. Okay, and then we're also going to over here say show shaded, where is it? Be showing. Let's see if we're getting it. Yeah, okay, we're getting it here. Okay, we're getting it there. The reason why we're not seeing it here is because this whole thing is transparent. So we need to control the transparency here with a map as well. So let's go to the map box, bitmap. We will choose perfume bottle transparency. See how, yeah, so we can see that in there. It's not showing how I would want it to, but we can let's have a look at the top. looks actually okay. Not bad. Alright, let's carry on. Alright. Okay, then we have a shininess. So I'm just going to change the material mode from classic simple to classic advanced. And under reflections, I'm going to add a map. And this will be the spec map. And then I'm also going to copy that map to roughness. Copy. Okay, so now we're starting to get some rough and smooth parts of the bottle. Okay, so that's looking interesting now. Okay. I think I wanted it the other way around, so I need to invert this map. So I'm just going to click on any one of these, go to the map, here it is, and go down to output and choose invert. So now it's the opposite way around. These parts are more matte, these parts are more transparent. Okay, I'm happy with that. Back to the material, and then now let's try the bump map. So this is a big experiment. Let's see how it works. So map, and this will be water droplets. Okay, looks pretty good. Alright, so we've got those 4 maps applied. We've got our color map, we've got our transparency map, we've got the spec map applied to reflection and roughness, and then we've got our bump map. Okay, so now that I've finished with my active shade, I'm going to do a proper render. So I'm just going to close this all up, get a nice view. Let's go like that, and just go to rendering, render setup. Now we haven't covered render properties yet, but this should just work straight away. So production rendering mode, Arnold, and let's just do a render and see what we get. I'm going to speed this up until it's finished. Okay, so the render is finished. So it's not perfect, but it does give you an idea of how you go about taking your UV maps, painting different texture properties onto them to create exactly what you want. Now, materials take time and take experimentation, so you would just need to continue to experiment until you get exactly what you want. But I'm not unhappy with this. I think it's okay. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.